Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you all usable PvP builds for the Barbarian. There are going to be 3 builds in total, one of them including the new set items. This guide should give you enough options to choose from. Of course everyone should play the game however they enjoy it, so don't be shy to make changes when you try out these builds. And don't forget, I am doing a giveaway for free Eternal Orbs. To enter, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel and join my Discord. You can find the links and details in the description. Let's start with the first build. This is the OG Lacerate build that we all used before the Vitius nerf, but with some changes. For the skills, we are using Furious Charge, Wrath of the Berserker, Undying Rage, Sprint and Lacerate as a primary skill. Of course, essences we choose makes this build work. I want to give you a few tips before we move on to the essences. First, try to use your Furious Charge a little ahead of your target. You will less likely miss that way because most of the time no one is standing still. Secondly, don't move straight if your skill's on cooldown. Make random movements. That way they might miss their targeted skills on you. And lastly, play around your Undying Rage cooldown. Nothing wrong with waiting for your cooldowns. You don't always have to rush into the fights. If you have some tips you want to share, please leave them in the comments. Now let's check out the essences for this build. For the helmet we are using Grinding Effigy, but you can use these two helmets too, all works great. Taking damage during Undying Rage now triggers a counterattack for 2.9k damage to all nearby enemies. For the chest we are using Tracker's Rage, all damage you deal increased by 10% after activating Furious Charge. For the shoulders we are using Hell's Legacy, Sprint also leaves a trail of flames dealing 9.6k damage to enemies over 4 seconds. For the legs we are using Screaming Fury, Furious Charge now charges to a location, damaging all nearby enemies and knocking them into the air. Maximum 2 charges. For the main hand we are using Rending Bite, Lacerate now inflicts bleeding that deals 14.5k damage over 3 seconds. And for the offhand, we are using Sundered Legacy. Wrath of the Berserker now causes nearby enemies to burn. And for the set items, we need 4-piece Vitus and 2-piece Gloomskite. 4-piece Vitus gives us 30% attack speed buff and, of course, beneficial effect buff for 30%. And Gloomskite gives us 15% increased damage. Moving on to the second build, this one is less mobile, but I think this is my favorite Barb build. For the skills we are using Furious Charge, Whirlwind, Undying Rage and Wrath of the Berserker. And of course we are using Lacerate for our primary skill. Now let's check out the essences. For the helmet we are using Grinding Effigy, but you can use these two again, all works great. Taking damage during Undying Rage now triggers a counterattack for 2.9 damage to all nearby enemies. Cannot occur more often than 0.5 seconds. For the chest, we need to use the Gathering, but somehow I still didn't get this essence, so I'm using Tracker's Rage for now, but you should use the Gathering essence. For the shoulders, once again we are using Hell's Legacy. Sprint also leaves a trail of flames, dealing 9.6k damage to nearby enemies over 4 seconds. For the legs, we are using Screaming Fury. Furious Charge now charges to a location, damaging all nearby enemies and knocking them into the air, maximum 2 charges. And this is the most important essence of this build. We are using Pet Race for main hand. Whirlwind now causes you to spin and charge forward, dealing damage to all nearby enemies along your path, maximum 3 charges. For the offhand, once again we are using Sundered Legacy. Wrath of the Berserker now causes nearby enemies to burn. And for the set items, we are using 4-piece Gloomskite and 2-piece Vitius Urge. We need this 2-piece Vitius because it buffs our Undying Rage and Wrath of the Berserker. And thanks to the 4-piece Gloomskite, we always have critical hit chance and increased damage. And this is going to be the last build on this video. To be honest, this build is not that great, but I included it because some of you might want to try out the new set items for PvP. This build uses all 6 of them, but like I said, it's not that great, and if you have lower resonance, it's going to be even worse because we are sacrificing 2-piece Vitus for new sets 6-piece effect. For the skills, we are using Furious Charge, Wrath of the Berserker, Undying Rage, Sprint and Lacerate as primary skill. Now let's look into the essences. For the helmet we are using Lasting Hate, Wrath of the Berserker duration increased by 39%. For the chest we are using Tracker's Rage, all damage you deal increased by 10% after activating Furious Charge. For the shoulders we are using Hell's Legacy once again. Sprint also leaves a trail of flames dealing 9.5k damage to enemies over 4 seconds. For the legs we are using Screaming Fury. Furious Charge now charges to a location, damaging all nearby enemies and knocking them into the air, maximum 2 charges. And we are using Rending Bite. for our main hand, Lacerate now inflicts bleeding that deals 14.4k damage over 3 seconds. And we are using the same offhand essence again. Sundered Legacy, Wrath of the Berserker now causes nearby enemies to burn. And for the set items we have 6-piece Banquet of Ice. 6-piece effect gives us 12 seconds of Poison Rage every 40 seconds, which deals insane amount of damage. With this build you try to leave your dots on enemies as much as you can. And that's the build. Well, that's it for this video. I will share separate PvP highlight video showcasing these builds. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Also feel free to leave comment down below and let me know what do you think about these builds. And see you in the next one.